Thank you, Venerable, for your teachings. I have several questions. Number one, in your lecture on the thought of wanting to steal the diamond ring, etc., I understand that we should cultivate wholesome thoughts, but how do we know that our unwholesome thoughts are suppressed and not eliminated? So, how do we know that our unwholesome thoughts are suppressed and not eliminated? Wholesome thoughts and unwholesome thoughts. How do we know that unwholesome thoughts are suppressed? Now, first of all, let's say preventive first. We do not want to let our unwholesome thought to arise. Can you do that? Because we were talking about the arising and disintegration of thoughts, right? The first one is prevention. The second one is elimination. Prevention and elimination is for unwholesome thoughts, right? You want to prevent unwholesome thoughts. You want to eliminate unwholesome thoughts. But just prevention and elimination is not enough, because you're only passively not doing it. You're only suppressing it. You have to be actively doing wholesome thoughts. So the Buddhist teaching is in two parts. Prevention and elimination is more or less passive, but you still have to be actively encouraging yourself to do good thoughts. Now let's talk about the first, prevention. How do you know that our unwholesome thoughts are suppressed and not eliminated? How do we know? First of all, you have to understand the nature of these thoughts. Second, you begin to learn how to practice it. By what? By watching your thought. If a thought comes up, most people don't watch it. I get angry. Most people just let the anger expressed out. If I'm driving on the road, somebody is overpassing and without signaling, and you almost hit that guy in front, immediately you have an anger. Then you start to yell, because that thought of anger arises. You cannot eliminate it. You just yell out. But if you practice to say, okay, I gotta watch my thought. Oh, here's the thought of anger coming up. I want to yell out to that guy. I want to yell him. I want to curse him. I want to have immoral language, to speak immoral language about him. But no, I have practiced meditation in a temple, that monk told me to watch my thought. Now I'm watching it. I don't want that thought to come up. So you're watching your thought. So other than just understanding all this wholesome and unwholesome thoughts, you have to practice to what? You have to practice to what? You have to practice, according to some translation, you have to practice to be mindful. People say, I want to learn mindfulness. Actually, mindfulness is not a good term. It's not a good translated term. You know why mindfulness is not a good term? It's wrongly translated. What is the meaning of mindful? Your mind is full of things. It's mindful. But you are supposed to get rid of things from your mind. How can you say meditation is mindful? Meditation. Mindful is to fill up your mind with things. Meditation is not to fill up your mind. It's not mindful. It's not to fill up your mind with all kinds of things. Meditation is to what? Get rid of your thoughts. There's a very famous Chinese philosopher in ancient days is called Lao Tzu. Lao Tzu, a very famous philosopher. You know what he said? I have to say it in Chinese first before I get my machine to translate it. It's 為學日增，為道日損，損之又損，乃至無為。為道日增。What does that mean? In the daily life, when you're learning, you're trying to increase your knowledge. You're learning. You want to fill your mind with knowledge, right? You want to fill your mind with, how do I get this? You want to fill your mind with, how do I get to be more successful? How do I make more money? How do I get to know a beautiful girlfriend? How do I get to know a handsome, rich young man? You always want to fill up your mind with fame, reputation, fill up your mind with all kinds of things that you think would enrich your materialistic form of life. You want to be full. You want to be full. You want to add on. That is learning. You want to add on in your daily life. You always want this and want that. You have an insatiable desire for wanting, for wants. But the spiritual way, enlightenment, is exactly the opposite. Meditating the spiritual way, the enlightenment way, is to what? Is to get rid of things. I don't want this. I don't want that. In the temporary life, your attitude is, I want to gain, I want to get this, I want to get that. But actually, in the spiritual life, you want to get rid of. You want to let go. So you're asking me, how do we know our unwholesome thoughts are suppressed? You have to learn to do it. You have to practice in watching your mind. Watch yourself. Here's the thought coming up. Say, okay, I want to yell at that guy who overpassed me, who passed me without signaling. I get angry. No. I'm not going to get angry. I will let go of my thought of anger. I want to let go of my thought of anger. All right? That's one example. Another example is, you have a boyfriend. And then one day you discover that your boyfriend is going out with another girlfriend. You start to have jealousy. How come my boyfriend is like that? He's unfaithful. You're dreaming up a lot of agony, a lot of anger, a lot of jealousy. And then say, no. I learned when I was in the temple. I learned how to get it. I learned how to watch. My thought of jealousy has come up right now because of this. I'm not going to have this thought of jealousy. I'm going to let it go. I'm not going to have this thought of anger. I'm going to let it go. You have to practice in watching your thought. Of course you don't know if you don't practice. Those who don't practice will say, anger comes up, expressed it. Jealousy comes up, expressed it. Greediness comes up, expressed it. That is an untrained meditator, an untrained developer of spiritual enlightenment. So which one you choose? Do you want to start practicing it, learning it, or you don't really care about your thought? I don't care about your thought. Let it go in every direction like a monkey. You know, our thought is like a monkey. It's 20 hours non-stop. That's why you don't know. The monkey can just jump anywhere from one branch. The monkey is jumping from one branch to another. Here's a branch of greediness. The monkey is grasping on the branch of greediness, and he saw another branch, a branch of beauty. He jumped onto another branch of beauty. He jumped from greediness to hatred to jealousy to all kind of branches. The monkey is jumping. But now you have learned meditation. What do? You learn concentration. You learn mental stabilization. What do? You use a rope to tie, a leash to tie to the neck of the monkey. You still allow the monkey, because the monkey would jump around, but you slowly pull back the monkey and stay put. He's jumping to anger, pull him back. He's jumping to jealousy, pull him back. But you're going to watch the monkey though. If you don't want to watch the monkey is going to jump all over the place. So learning meditation is watching your monkeying mind. Can you watch your monkeying mind? You have to train yourself. You have to train yourself to train the monkey. You're the monkey. You're the trainer and you're the doer. It's just like what I said all the time. I said, we are actually, everybody of us, we are performing our own movie picture, a movie picture of your own life. You are the script writer. You are the producer. You are the actor. How do you write out your script of life? A script of courage, a script of jealousy, a hatred, a script of generosity. How do you write out your script of life? You are the script writer. Please write up a good script. Be a good actor. Be a good producer. Be a good cameraman doing good cinematography. Giving good lighting. Everything. You want to have a good life? It's just like making a movie picture. You got to consider every aspect of your life. It's difficult. So, how do we know? You don't know until you practiced it. Practice makes perfect. If you practice meditation, watch your thought all the time, you're not going to perform bad, unwholesome karma because you will stop on time. You will prevent it on time. You will eliminate it on time. So how do we know? You know if you train yourself well. And it's not that difficult, actually. It's easy, but it's difficult. Is it easy? Is it difficult to train that monkey? Is it possible? Of course it's possible. Nothing is impossible. Is it easy? Of course it's not easy. You think it's easy to become a Buddha? No, it's difficult. Becoming a Buddha is difficult. But being difficult does not mean that you don't want to do it. Climb the mountain, cross every stream. Have you ever heard that song? Mother Teresa. So you gotta climb the mountain, cross every stream until you see your oasis. You stumble sometimes. You fall sometimes. Get up and pick up your knapsack and continue going. That's a meditator's life. A meditator goes through storms. A meditator does not mean that I meditate and every day I'll be peaceful. Every day I'm going to that peace of that peace, land of peace. No, you have a lot of storm in life, in your meditation, just as you have storm in your life. Sometimes meditation is just like the weather. Could be a good day of meditation. Sometimes it could be a bad day of meditation. You go through the storm. You're not afraid of the weather. It does not matter what weather you have. You're not afraid of the rain, the snow. One thing I learned when I started to be a Canadian many years ago, I learned not to be afraid of rain. When I came from Hong Kong, well, when it rains, I always get an umbrella. I never carry an umbrella in Canada. We're not afraid of the rain. It's drizzle. At one point, you know why we're not afraid of the rain? In Asia, when it rains, it's cats and dogs. You can feel, when you cross the street, all your clothes are wet. But in here, you can walk for a day and you just feel some water on your clothes. I never carry umbrella. So I have again diverted into another thing. Is there a way to totally annihilate a bad thought, like wanting to steal a diamond ring? Yes, learn to watch your thought. That is what we call vipassana and samatha. Samatha is to steal your mind. You have to steal your mind first. Oh, you get jealousy. Okay, steal it, stay put. Don't get jealous. You have to steal it, stabilize it first. The first thing to do is to calm your mind first. When you calm, then you can see better. When you get very agitated, that guy is overpassing me, that guy is yelling at me, that guy is not signaling. I'm not going to yell it up. I calm down. Calm your mind first, and then put wisdom into it and say, I'm not going to let my anger come out because it's no good for me. How can I use anger against anger? That guy must be angry because I'm going slow. Or he thinks I'm going slow, but I'm not, but he's angry. And I cannot use anger against anger. You know why? What's the Newton's third law of motion? A reaction created will be met by an ego in opposition interaction. Bang! Two conflicts come together would produce more conflict. It's just like when you're bullied at school. Grade 2, grade 3, you got bullied. Bully you at school. I'm being bullied. I don't like it. I want to fight back. I want to hit that guy until it's all blood over the place. Bullying is already sending out unwholesome emotion because of that. That bullying, it comes from an unwholesome thought, right, of that guy who bullied me. And I'm using another thought that is unwholesome, fighting back, hit him and the blood over the place. That is using a force to hit him. You know what the result? The effect I would get is multifold worse than the effect of being bullied. Because he hit me in the face, he didn't really hit me that much. It hurts my esteem. I'm being bullied, but I just let it go. I don't want to hit back. I want to forgive this guy because he doesn't know. So actually, you're absorbing that with tolerance, with the good emotion, wholesome emotion of tolerance to annihilate it, to dilute it. But if you use it force, so violence can never set to violence. All right, so you got that clear? Practice to watch your thought. When the thought of anger comes up, you watch your thought, you know your thought, you let go of that thought. When a thought of wholesome energy comes up, you want to foster it. You want to cultivate it. You want to maintain it. All of a sudden, you become so compassionate to people who are suffering from certain illness. You want to volunteer in a hospital, in a daycare, in a nursing home. All of a sudden, that thought of compassion comes up to you. You cultivate and maintain it. That's what we call right efforts that we've been talking about just now. Prevention, elimination for bad thoughts, cultivation, and maintenance for good thoughts. You have to train yourself in doing it. Nothing comes easy. Training. Second question. You also mentioned that we got back to the good for the good that we've done. Is it true that one would get the good back in threefold and the bad back also in threefold? Very good question. I didn't know about how to answer that question until a few days ago when I read something. I read the effect of compounding. In other words, a momentum will pick up more force as it moves along. Compounding effect. And I have an apple seed. I put it in the ground, in the soil. I put fertilizers. And then I put all my love into it, my fertilizer and everything. I try my best to grow that apple tree. Boom, apple tree comes up after 1 year. And I have 600 apples on one tree. One apple seed sprout into 600 apples. Is it compounding? One apple seed lead to how many apples? That's more or less the theory of compounding. You pick up more momentum. And also I can think of a little bit of science, the ripple effect. The ripple effect. If you drop a stone into a pond of water, the ripple comes out. The force expanded. But that dripping is just one drip, and then that ripple goes out. When it goes out to the edge of the pond, assuming that it's not a sea that washes it into the soil, if you have a swimming pool, for example, you drop a rock into the swimming pool, and then the ripple goes all in every direction and hit the edge. When it hit the edge, you know what happened? The same force but much bigger, would bounce back to the center. And that's what we call the ripple effect. It bounced back to you manifold. That's proven by science. There's also a boomerang effect also. It comes back to you. So don't think that you just render one thought of compassion and it's gone forever. It bounces back to you multifold. So don't think that, okay, I have $1 million and I only would donate, I only donate about, $20. Because I want to leave my $1 million to my children, to me, in case I want to buy this and buy that. So for donation giving out, I only give, $20. I have seen, we usually, many years ago, 25 years ago, we used to put a box right in front in there to where Sam was sitting behind that, a box of donation box. And then we say, the lunch is not it doesn't cost anything, it's free, but any donation is welcome. And I see some newcomers, how much they put in? A quarter, boom, boom, a quarter in there. He only thinks that this lunch is worth only a quarter. Why would I give more? A quarter for a lunch? Not even for a small box of French fries. Right now a hamburger costs more than $10. No, what A&W and $8.50? How can you drop a quarter? It's better not, don't drop anything, but don't drop a quarter into the donation box. And I can still hear this clink. Yeah. Okay, so make sure you do all the best. Render out your ripple of compassion, loving kindness. It bounces back to you many times. That applies to everything, to your family, to your friends, to the society. And it comes back in a variety of ways. It comes back anywhere, anytime. It may not be in this life. It could be in your next life. It depends on maturity time. All right, next question. What age group will you be speaking to in Vernon, high school or university level? They told me that it's mostly higher grade students, maybe grade 9, grade 10, up to grade 12. But there are parents who join too. Teachers at university level. It's a challenge for me because it's students, sometimes they don't know some of the basic Buddhist concepts like reincarnation, samsara. They may not even know what karma is. It's my first effort, first try. I don't know. I'll tell you when I come back. I am 23 years old. Next question, last question. My friend, which I know since first grade at school, committed suicide a month ago. Could you please help me how to understand these questions that are constantly coming to my mind, to my head? Number one question that comes to the head, how to understand suicide of a friend who was suffering from depression. Yeah, nowadays many people suffer from depression. I read some statistics that in North America, a quarter of the fatal accidents happens in committing suicide, and it accounts for a very high percentage of people who die every year. Depression. And so it's very important that we know how to deal with it. And dealing with depression is not that easy, because nowadays when we deal with depression, usually we go to a doctor and a doctor would prescribe medicine to you, tranquilizing medicine. But tranquilizing medicines only control it, only suppressed it, without curing it from the roots. In other words, if you get depressed, you tranquilize yourself for a day. Next day you may get depressed again. And you may tranquilize yourself for 3-4 days, next day you get depressed again. So medicine has not found really, like in some interminable, in incurable disease, they couldn't find any answers to it. They can only suppress it. So how to understand suicide of a friend who was suffering from depression? There's so much to talk about people committing suicide from depression. What is depression? Depression is an emotion, right? It's an emotion. Emotion, where do emotions come from? Emotions come from what? Karma. What is karma? Karma is a kind of energy. Karma is expressed in thought, your action, and your speech. In other words, you are performing karma every day. You are 24 hours performing your own karma. Your mind is expressing latent energy, which is karma. Your hands, your body is expressing action, which is expressed karma, or spoken words, which is expressed karma. So you are creating karma all the time, 24 hours. Do you know that you yourself is creating karma? What kind of karma you're recreating? Because karma is the minute, the latent karma is the thought, the expressed karma is action. All this is from thought. Are you thinking? You have a mind, you have a brain, you're always thinking. When you're always thinking, you're always producing karma. And karma has two kinds. Wholesome karma, actually three kinds. Wholesome karma, unwholesome karma, and neutral karma. Unwholesome karma would lead to unwholesome effects. Wholesome karma will lead to wholesome effects. Neutral karma will lead to neutral effect. So you know that depression is not because your mom and dad, not because, of course, it affects you. It's not entirely because of a broken family. It's based on so many reasons that you're performing this. So you create karma, and emotions come from karma. Karma is wholesome or neutral. With what do we create karma? With our thought, our actions, our words. The Buddha said we have to purify our actions, our thought, our speech. If you purify all these, you're on your way to purify your own karma. If you're not purifying it, if you pollute it yourself, you're going to pollute your life because you're going to create a lot of emotions. So if you want to know emotions, to know depression, first of all, you have to understand how the emotion, how the depression is created. So in other words, you have to understand all these emotions, right? And that takes time. I can't give you all the understanding, just answering one question. So suffice it to understand that you have to understand the nature, the characteristics of depression. And you have to understand it right. Not just Google it and get some superficial meaning of depression and think you understand it. You have to really think about it. And then, that's not enough. Understanding is just knowing the theory. You have to practice it. You have to overcome it. You have to deal with it. How do you deal with it? How do you deal with the depression? You have to deal with the depression by practicing training your mind not to be involved in karma. And that's what we call meditation. So many kinds of meditation. Silent meditation, chanting meditation, eating meditation, sleeping meditation, all kinds of meditation. But the most obvious ones are silent meditation and sound and chanting meditation. You have to learn how to calm your mind, relax the body, and thereby reducing your emotions or preventing your emotions. So in silent meditation, you learn how to do mental stabilization and mental introspection. That's meditation. Chanting meditation, you have to know how to chant. If I use modern language, silent meditation is what? Is mental therapy. Carry out a mental therapy. What is chanting meditation? Is sound therapy. You have to use two kinds of therapies to heal your depression. How do we do it? It takes a long time to talk about it. So how do we understand suicide of a friend? It comes from emotions. He created his own fate. He's not in time, or you're not in time to know more to stop him from doing it. If you're really his good friend, you may have learned all these things about depression, and you will go to his home and say, and lock and go, Tom, I want to talk to you. You have depression, and this is how I understand depression. You talk to him, give him the time. You always have to have, coffee break with him, and tell him to let go, to live with it. Don't hate it. You cannot add hatred onto depression. You cannot add another emotion on an emotion. So you have to teach him how to let go. Saying letting go is easy, but it's very difficult to let go. You think, most people say, I heard from Reverend Guan Cheng that to heal depression you have to let go. Let go, let go. You think it's easy to let go? It's extremely difficult to let go. You have to go through the practice to let go. So don't just say let go, and you will do it. I know let go, but I cannot let go. I let go, but I still suffer from insomnia. I let go, but I still worry. I let go, but I'm still anxious. I want to let go, but I cannot let go. That's a symptom of someone who suffers from depression. He knows that he should let go, but he can never let go. How do you let go? You have to practice to still your mind. You have to say, here's a feeling of depression comes up. Oh, comes up again. Oh, I don't hate it. I live with it. Here's an unwholesome emotion of depression. I want to tolerate it, which means that I want to cultivate an emotion of tolerance. An emotion of tolerance is wholesome. I'm using an emotion of tolerance to dilute my unwholesome emotion of depression. I'm building up my tolerance, which is good. I'm living with it. I don't hate it. I'm living with it. I try to let go of it. I want to excuse it. I don't want to blame myself for depression. Depression comes up, I lose my self-esteem. No, I shouldn't. I want to build my self-esteem. So you have to get the training to let go. It's difficult, but you have to try. Once you get into the training, somebody told you, then every day you do a little bit, until you are so familiar with the letting go that you may not let go, you can immediately watch depression with friendliness, with acceptance, with tolerance, sometimes with compassion. You know why? Because you know that people are depressed. There are many people who got depressed too. I'm going through this subjective experience of depression myself now. If I really get over it, I would tell other people how to deal with it. I'm testing myself. I'm testing my limit. And when I'm successful, I'm going to relate this experience to others so that they can let go. All of a sudden, your compassion emotion comes up, which will overwhelm your depression. There's so many things that can happen to you. Bring a positive attitude into depression. And then, of course, you build up your concepts in Buddhism. Then you should do your vipassana. Get to know more about the Buddhist teaching of compassion, of tolerance, of generosity. You work both ways. Mental stabilization, letting go, on the one hand, and mental introspection of the wisdom of the Buddhist teaching on the other hand. It's like the two wings of a bird. And if you are really his friend, you should always contact him, talk to him, spend the time with him. If you are family members of someone that is depressed in the family, don't just blame him. Don't just give him the theories. Stay with him. Support him. Stand by him. Stand by me is a good song. Stand by me. You have to stand by me. I'm in depression. Stand by my side. I don't need all the theories. I can get that from Google. Stand by me. Talk to me. then you spend all the time talking. You want to save someone, how can you not spending time with him? You save a life. It's worth spending 1 hour with him for a month if you can save a life. That's compassion. What karma is it? Bad karma, unwholesome karma. Is it because something what he did in this past life? Yes. All the karma is you did it yourself, nobody else. Did he really supposed to stop his life himself? I guess so. He committed suicide himself. But there are many, many other reasons too. But there is also karma that relates to previous life that is difficult to understand. It could be related to karma of another dimension. What do I mean by that? There are 6 realms of reincarnation. One of the realms is a ghost realm. If you have killed someone many, many lifetimes ago, if his, so to speak, consciousness is still lingering around you, he wants to take your life. He's still around you. He used every opportunity to take your life. In fact, he's your enemy. Because you killed him, he's coming to kill you. It's possible. Or he may be coming to kill you in another form. He's coming as your daughter, or your son, or your niece, or your nephew, or your colleagues who want to take your life away. It's so intricate. Karma energy is so intricate, okay? Last question. The soul of that person cannot be human in his next life? I don't know. I don't have supernatural power to understand next life. If I know that, I would tell you. I don't know. Only the Buddha has that supernatural power understanding the next life, the future. But you can predict you can predict your own future by knowing what you are doing now. If you cultivate all the good causes, you know that you're going to have good effects in the future. You don't have to ask. If you're always doing all kinds of bad deeds now, you know that bad effects will come up to you because you are the doer of the karma. You are also the reaper of the karma. You sow what you reap. You reap what you sow. It comes back to you.